Welcome to Homefront Sit Rep. I hope you're in for a great show today because I'm just a veteran talking about what's on my mind and maybe yours.
You can find Homefront Sit Rep on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. You can also check out Homefront Sit Rep's YouTube channel.
Buckle up, the show is starting.
Out on the edge of the battle and back, we've carried the weight and we've walked every track. From desert dust to the fire at home, we've learned how to fight, how to stand alone. But no one tells you what comes after the war, when silence is louder than the guns we bore. That's where we speak, that's where we heal, stories too real for Hollywood reels. Welcome to the front lines you don't always see, when warriors to battle just differently. This is our check-in, our voice, our step. This is the Homefront Sit Rep podcast. For the fallen, the fighting, and those who came home. For the brothers and sisters who still feel alone. We're holding the line with truth and respect. This is the Homefront Sit Rep podcast. For the fallen, the fighting, and those who came home. For the brothers and sisters who still feel alone. We're holding the line with truth and respect. This is the Homefront Sit Rep podcast. It ain't all medals and waving flags. There's pain in the silence and weight in the facts. But we've got a mic and a mission to share, to tell the damn truth, cause somebody's gotta care. We laugh, we cry, we cuss, we pray. We honor the ones who ain't here today. From basic to battle and back to the block. This is our rhythm of round table talk. Welcome to the front lines you don't always see, when warriors to battle just differently. This is our check-in, our voice, our step. This is the Homefront Sit Rep podcast. Still heavy in dreams out of reach, for the lessons the textbooks could never teach. We're sounding off, no filter, no prep. This is the Homefront Sit Rep podcast. So if you've worn the boots or love someone who did, if you swallowed your hurt and kept it all hid, pull up a chair, you're not alone. Welcome to the front lines you don't always see, where courage meets scars and raw honesty. This is our anthem, our truth intercept. This is the Homefront Sit Rep podcast. For the ones still standing and those we've lost yet, for every single story we'll never forget. We speak so others won't forget. This is the Homefront Sit Rep podcast. Real talk, real facts, real life. Homefront Sit Rep podcast, where the mission continues.
Welcome, everybody, to a Monday edition of Homefront Sit Rep. How is everybody doing? Gunny, how are you, sir?
Braving the cold, man. I went outside today and I felt like I was back home in Maine. Just frigid today. Like I said yesterday, as soon as the plow truck goes by, I have to go out there and get them out to the driveway again. So I ended up having to do that this morning. They went by a couple of times and, snowed us back in. Well, not us, but the neighbors. So did my driveway, did the neighbor's driveway, and then ventured out to Kroger, man. And a lot of the shelves are still bare. They couldn't get the trucks in, or they just have it out back. There wasn't a lot of people moving around today up here in Northern Kentucky. So maybe tomorrow we'll get back to normal-ish winter. Yeah. But yeah, man, it's cold here today.
Oh yeah, dude. So I got up at I left the house at 5:30 this morning. Because I had to go into work, and I was like, well, I'm going to make sure I got enough time to get there, because I didn't know what the conditions of the main roads were. And it was friggin' frigid. And I was like, so I jumped in, I already had the truck started, already had it cleaned off, got in the truck, put it in reverse, had it in 4 low because I didn't have a chance to do my driveway yet. So I put it in 4 low. And I started backing up, and it was just going crunch, 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 because it had frozen over. And I was like, and at the end of the driveway, like you said, the snow plows had come through and pushed everything up. And so I had to gun it to even get over the hump to get out of my driveway. Then I made the trek into work. It's funny. We live in a small county, Bullitt County, right? and you got Jefferson County, which is all of Louisville Metro.
Yeah.
The roads in Bullitt County were 100 times better than the roads in Jefferson County, and I was like, Jesus. And these are the main, like the main arteries going through, like we got Barstown Road, Hurstbourne Parkway, the main arteries, and it just was crazy. Give a big shout out to Mr. Ty Cobb and Skipper Mike Arthur. How are you guys doing tonight? Yeah, Ty said it, gun the hump. Yeah, I had to gun it. But and then I'm at the office and I'm sitting there and my wife calls and she goes, "Hey, our daughter wants to go to her boyfriend's house." I was like, "How's she getting there?" "Oh, she wants to drive." I was like, "No, she's not." And then I get heading home and my wife calls and she's stuck in the driveway. My wife is stuck in the driveway because she tried to go out. I'm like, "I told you to just stay at the house." They didn't listen, but they got the Palisade stuck in the driveway. So
Yes.
yeah, so I was like, "Oh man," but yeah, it's been a cold, cold day, and I actually took tomorrow off because I got to get the driveway shoveled and snow blowed off, just so my wife can get out and about because she's going stir crazy here in the house. So
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I did it twice yesterday, did it once today. I did it once before April went into work. That way I didn't have that slush buildup and everything at the mouth of the driveway. And
yeah,
it's supposed to get cold tonight. I think tomorrow morning is the coldest morning we're supposed to have. So yeah, I'm ready to go back to Africa, dude. This single digit below,
yeah,
zero temperature stuff is for the friggin' birds. Now I
yeah.
know why I don't go home.
It reminds me of Bridgeport a little bit.
I'd
Cold
rather
weather.
be in Bridgeport. It was warmer.
True, it was. It was.
I almost went downstairs to bust out the old heavy Poly Pro, but I don't know if
Oh.
it fit my fat butt anymore. I've gained a little bit since the last time I was in Bridgeport.
Yeah, so we got a question on TikTok. Mr. Lloyd Wilson, who's actually from Barstown, Kentucky. He just said, "How are the roads up here?" The main roads, like from going from Barstown to Mount Washington, the main roads look pretty clear. But once you get into Louisville, Jefferson County, the roads were terrible earlier today. So um, it'll get better. We just got to let it warm up a little bit and hopefully clear out. So, but not too bad, Lloyd.
Yeah, and they've already canceled school up here for tomorrow just because a lot of the secondary roads, like
Yes.
south of the county, or even here, in the Erlanger Independence area, a lot of secondary roads are still trash. I mean,
Yeah.
the sun came out today, which is nice, so it melted a lot of stuff, but then it put all that slush in, man. So they're coming through and scraping the slush now. And I mean, even here at the intersection by the house behind me, you can see where the plow truck comes in and the plow truck leaves, and you got a big diamond in the
Yep.
middle of the road because they don't know what they're doing up here.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the same way here. Like they pile up the snow on the edges of the road. Well, when it melts, it just puts like a pond in the
Yeah.
middle of the road. And it's just like, bro, you need to make sure you get that stuff out so it don't freeze because it's going to freeze. I mean, as soon as sun's down now, but it's just gonna freeze right back up, and it's gonna be worse tomorrow. I'm like, I'm just gonna stay home, not even gonna take a chance because it's a 30 something minute drive for me to get from my house to my office,
Yeah.
and then just to sit there for 8 hours. I'm like, I'm just gonna stay home, do things
Yeah.
around here that need to get done, and because we're leaving on the 4th to
Yeah.
head down to Tampa. So there's
That's
some things.
next Thursday.
Yeah, next Thursday. So, I gotta get out there, make sure everything's packed, ready to go, make sure I got
Pack your
everything.
shorts,
Yeah,
pack your polos, pack
yeah,
some swim trunks, pack your workout gear.
yeah, yeah,
We'll be good.
yeah. So, yeah, we'll be done. So, speaking of Florida, our guest that we have tonight is also from Florida. I think he's from Hollywood, or he lives in Hollywood, Florida. Rat Man, what's going on, brother? How are you, sir? He said he got 16 inches up here in
Mm.
Indiana. Holy cow. Mm. Yeah, so our guest that we got tonight, he is a Marine Corps veteran. He I believe, if I remember correctly from our conversation, he started out enlisted and then went the warrant officer route. And he retired after 20 some odd years in the Marine Corps as a CWO3, which is Chief Warrant Officer 3, which in an infantry unit, our chief warrant officers are usually our gunners. It's what we call them. If they rate the title of gunners, what we call them. So we're going to find out what his MOS
Our
was.
NBC officer is also a warrant officer too.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're right. So there are a few warrant officers around the Marine Corps, and we're going to find out what our guest, Mr. Pacho, what he is doing while he was in the service and what he's doing now. So let's bring him up. Gunny, you ready?
Yeah, man.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Welcome to the show, sir. How are you doing, sir?
Out freaking standing. I'm right here freezing in sunny Hollywood, Florida.
Freezing. What is it, about 40 degrees down there right now?
It's like 70.
It's close to the 80s. I had to break out the field parka.
I'm going to give a big shout out to Battle Buddy Rods or Battle Buddy Vets on TikTok. All right, Mr. Pacho, do me a favor and introduce yourself to the world of Homefront Sit Rep, if you don't mind.
Hoorah, get some. What's going on, everybody? My name is Francisco Correa Hernandez. You killed my father. Prepare to die. No, I'm just, I go by Pacho. It's kind of a nickname, Richard, Dick, William, Bill. It's, so if you heard of Pancho Villa, his name was Francisco. It's just in Mexico, they put the N in the name. So
nice.
So that's why. But I've been, that's been my name since I was a kid. And I just kind of, after the Marine Corps, I don't know, for whatever reason, I just went back to using that nickname. So, but yeah, retired Marine, Chief Warrant Officer 3, Motor T. So technically, I am not a gunner. I never claim I was. That title, we only reserve it to the guys in the infantry. If somebody called me a gunner, even some of my higher ups would say, "Hey, gunner," I say, "Hey, look, I appreciate it. No, no disrespect." However, those guys in the infantry have earned that title. So just call me either Chief Warrant Officer or just call me by my first name. If they were same rank, whatever.
Yeah.
Or sir, if they were enlisted.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I left the infantry and went and worked on the V-22. And I want to say it was the AVI shop had a Chief Warrant Officer 3. And everybody was calling him gunner. I'm like, where's this gunner you speak of? So I walk in the shop. And it's 2 bars. I don't see a bursting bomb anywhere. I'm like, who's Gunner Redmond? And he's like, me. And I look, I'm like, it's no damn bursting bomb in your collar. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And I walked out, and then next thing I know, I'm getting called to the Sergeant Major's office for disrespecting him. And I looked at the Sergeant Major. I was like, listen, if you want a gunner over here, I can get one over here quick, fast, in a hurry. I said, but when he walks through these gates, he's going to go directly to Redmond. He's going to shoot Redmond in his ass because Redmond should know better. And I get it. I mean, I don't know where it came about, but a lot of Chief Warrant Officer 3s, somebody, somewhere, gunner, right? And I don't know where it came from or how it came about or why it's still there. But a lot of people have a huge misconception that 3 is the gunner.
Yeah, no, and I agree with you 100%. They use it as a term of endearment for the others that are not in the infantry. And I get it because hey, gunner, whatever. It's a sign of respect. However, again, I never claimed that title. I was like, hey, it's either sir or Chief Warrant Officer Korea. Pick your poison. Or if it was enlisted, same rank or whatever. Like, hey, just call me my first name.
Yeah.
Or just, Chief Warrant Officer, your choice, but I'm not a gunner. No disrespect, whatever. So,
right. So you're enlisted. Now, what rank did you get up to as an enlisted rank? And then what made you decide to go from enlisted to Chief Warrant Officer?
That's a good question. So, I was always, I guess you could say, I was always lucky in the sense I had good leadership. I've always wanted to be an officer. So even when I was enlisted, I'm what they call a retread. I got out after my first enlistment. I went back in, and when I came back in, I was actually I was a 2-time Lance Corporal because back then they wouldn't readjust your date of rank and Armed Forces base date. They would just demote you, and then a few months
Start you
later,
over.
whatever. Yeah. So I was a few days short before they changed the MAR admin, so I had to go back in as Lance Corporal. So, anyways, but I always wanted to be an officer, and I applied for MESEP too in the second time around. Now that I was back in, I applied for MESEP, but I was like, do I want to be on unrestricted and just kind of away from the Marines, or do I want to really make an impact and just be in the trenches? And I've always liked the warrant officer I worked with, so I ended up going that route. So I got all the way to Staff Sergeant, but the warrant officer program in the Marine Corps is, out of all the services, it's the hardest. We got the smallest core of warrant officers. Army does a lot of lobbying for their program, so it's really hard to get into. It's really competitive. So, dude, I tried for 5 years in a row, and then it was the year that I half-assed the package when I was going through recruiting school, because a buddy of mine who was already a 3, he used to call me Hoochie. And I don't know why, but he calls me from fucking Afghanistan. He's like, "Hey, Hoochie." I'm like, "Hey, sir." And we were boys, but I call, "Hey, sir, what's going on?" He goes, "Hey, you applying for the program?" I'm like, "No, sir. I'm going to recruiting school. I'm just going to be, go out there, hit the streets and do my thing, but I'm not putting it." He's like, "Okay, roger that." This fucker calls my XO. And can I say fucker? Is that okay? Or
you just did.
Just did.
Times 2. But yeah, he calls my XO, Steve Hodge, who I just talked to last week, as a matter of fact. And they call me into the office. It's like, "Hey, how you doing, Staff Sergeant?" I'm like, "Hey, sir, what's up?" He goes, "Hey, I need you to put in a package." I'm like, "Sir, I'm going to recruiting. I'm literally checking out next week." He goes, "Yeah, okay, sounds good. Yeah, but submit a package." So I half-assed that thing. And as I was going through school, they were calling me for other stuff. And a year into it, lo and behold, my name is on the MAR admin, and I was like, "Man, I should have half-assed it from the beginning." So, but yeah, Motor T. That's how I ended up, and it was good, dude. I loved, yeah, I had a lot of fun. And by the way, let me just debunk some myths right quick. Look, we're not fucking sellouts. We're not. We don't live in the dark side because we were once enlisted. I'm not fucking Darth Vader, whatever. Prior Luke Skywalker. That's the route that we went, and we are commissioned. Is just because in the first rank you're appointed. After you pick up 2, you are commissioned by the SECNAF and all that stuff. So, but yeah, I had a lot of fun, dude. I mean, but remember, the ass you chew today as a warrant officer might be the one you kiss tomorrow. So,
yeah,
definitely,
for sure. Did you start off as Motor T?
So I started out as a grease monkey. I was a mechanic, and that's another story, right quick. Look, I love dirt bikes. I'm a motorcycle rider since I've been, since I can remember. And I knew the Marine Corps had dirt bikes in the motor pool, and the recruiters saw me. "Oh yeah, dude, you're gonna be a fucking mechanic. You're gonna be doing wheelies in the motor pool. Freaking amazing!" I was like, "Oh, sign me up, Sarge." Dude, I get to my 9th Com Battalion. They just phased out the 250s because people were getting into accidents screwing around in them. I didn't see a motorcycle until, like, I don't know, 2000, when I was on I duty. And they brought back the KLX 650s, and I went to school. So yeah, I started as a mechanic. When I got out as a PSEPper, I was trying to come back in. I was, I retested for the ASVAB, and I got this high ass score. I put in like 3 MOSs, non-Motor T. Freaking package came back. Motor T.
Man.
Like, yeah. So yes, always a mechanic.
Yeah, I know in the Marine Corps we have limited jobs, MOSs, that offer the warrant officer program, right? So, administration, we talked about the nuclear, biological, chemical warfare. Right. Obviously, on the infantry side of the house, you've got your gunner, because it's a whole different program. Your warrant officer school plus the gunner program, and you come back and you're, that weapons specialist, right? So
and you come back as a 2, not a 1.
Right, and you come back as a 2. Yep. right
Same
away.
thing for recruiting duty too.
Yep.
You apply, you come back as a 2.
Yep.
You're working at an operation.
You're at ops, right? Yeah. So the ops chief, and then on the ground side, it's maintenance admin, and then AVI. But yeah, there's very limited spots. Like you
Yeah.
said, like the Army, they have flyers. A lot of the helicopter pilots are warrant officers.
Yeah. And as a matter of fact, so I was looking at different in between Jarhead, and I didn't know what I was doing. When I got out, I looked at the Army, and that's what I was going to go for. I'm like, oh, I'm going to fucking fly, whatever. And but then I started thinking about it, and after I put in my pack, I'm, dude, I get the tattoos. Then I got to explain myself. You were in the Marine Corps, but then blah, blah. Then I'm going to be that guy that I've ran into deployments who's now in the Army. Oh, they call me that this because I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm
Just gonna go back in Corps.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'll go back in, whatever, dog.
Oh man. All right. So here you are. You did 20 plus years in the Marine Corps, right? You retired. How was your retirement, and what was your transition like? And then what got you into what you're doing now?
I'm sure all of us here. I used to ask staff NCOs and even officers, whatever. It's when I was younger, I'm like, hey, Master Guns, you're gonna retire. What is that like? Whatever, blah blah. And they would, they always say, I don't know. You just know. You're ready. I'm ready to get out. Blah blah. That kind of never made sense up until I was ready to retire around that time frame. I knew 5 years out when I was at Fuji. I was a 3, and I was there for the earthquake, tsunami, all that. That's crazy. That's some crazy shit right there. Yeah. And yeah, I was 5 years out. I was like, yeah, I'm ready for this. And obviously, moving time forward, I was my PTSD was through the roof. I was, I was already contemplating suicide. And I had already formulated a plan. I was literally gonna, and I'm just like in my show, I'm very open with that. When I share the story, so hopefully it'll resonate with somebody, and hopefully you'll see that, hey, look, this dumbass right here almost did it, but he's here now. So, but yeah, I was gonna check out my 9mm, get on my bike. I had the rounds, and I was gonna go to a range out Pogas in the Pogas area, if you're familiar with Camp Pendleton, and I was just gonna. But I made a phone call, and that got my path. So I ended up retiring, and nothing against DOD, and they're doing an amazing job. Things have gotten better, but nothing can for retirement or transition out of the service. I think as a whole, and Gunny Deeds and I, we had this conversation during the show, but nothing can prepare you for that. And I think, again, we got a little bit of ways to go on that aspect. So I was just kind of feeling my way around through a lot of misinformation, some fake media, they're bad, some bullshit, VA, that was my shitty impression of Donald Trump right there. But, I felt, kind of stumbling through that, and I was like, man, I got to become an advocate and just pass the right information. So, but, along the way, I was a safety guy, OSHA. I went to the first 10-hour in Camp Pendleton through Veterans Transition Support, VTS. Huge shout out to Russell Levy and that organization, because they do a lot of free classes helping vets transition into that. And I went back and I helped out with that a lot. So I did okay. I mean, making good money, whatever. But when it wasn't until I did this government contract in the Middle East where I was like, man, I was just exhausted and tired. As a safety guy, you fight with ops, just like you do in the Marine Corps.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody just, in ops just kind of sees you as a bad guy. So I started getting into financing, investing, and researching the industry. And I was like, man, this is pretty cool. And I'm still helping families. I'm helping people make money. So I got all my licenses through FINRA and in the insurance industry. And that's what I do now. I mean, I make people money, make more money. How good is that?
That's pretty awesome. So here you are, you're a veteran advocate, so you're helping veterans do their VA file their VA claims and give them your advice. So you don't really just kind of off of your experience of what you experienced basically. And then
Right.
I'm sure you've done some research and say, hey, this is probably an avenue to go down and stuff of that nature. That's something that, a lot of veteran advocates, they don't look at. If they got a veteran that's coming to them and saying, hey, I need help filing my claim, they're like, well, I've never had to deal with that. I don't know how to. So it's best that we
Yeah.
educate ourselves, especially if we're in the realm of wanting to help other people out there, or other veterans out there. And then you're also doing your other thing that you got going on with your business and stuff like that, selling insurance and stuff of that nature, and doing the whole safety aspect of things. What made you decide to start a podcast?
So I know I plugged you guys with sitchradio.com. Brian Colburn is it's kind of like, he's the founder of Sitch Radio. He was in the Marine Corps in the 80s, calm guy by trade, go fucking figure, right? And then so can we agree that sometimes we tend to be our own worst enemies as vets?
100%. We sabotage ourselves all the time,
bro. Holy shit. So after I got out, obviously, I got some help through intensive outpatient program at Camp Pendleton and the Wounded Warrior program, which, a thank you, huge shout out to them. However, sometimes we just don't want to, and I did all I drank the Kool-Aid, went in there, did the therapies, whatever, but we come to a point where we just kind of bury ourselves in work to just kind of distract ourselves. And I did that for a long time. So I had run into the Warrior Build Foundation, which works with combat veterans. They do the Baja 1000. They do, all this stuff, dirt biking, and they have therapy groups. So around that time, again, my PTSD was through the roof. I was kind of contemplating checking out. I'm dating this amazing individual who's now my wife, but she's like, she dated a Navy guy who never went to combat, and the guy was pretty secretive with his life and whatever. So
he was supply.
Yeah, no, he was something, and I'm giving you context of the story because it'll make sense. So now she's with this Marine deployed, whatever, and he is this shit of problems, PTSD, and she's like, oh, what do I do with this dude? So she started calling around and she plugged me in with Warrior Built, and that's where I met Aaron Siebert, or Chief Siebert. This dude was blown up twice, declared dead twice, got a bunch of shrapnel, and so he has this podcast called Combat Vet Vision, which I highly recommend that everybody checks out. But so I will come on as a guest, telling my story and helping veterans how to transition into safety and how to make money and whatever. So, and I kept telling him, like, dude, we should make a podcast, one where we're just talking shit. We can now talk shit about our leadership.
Because you're done.
Yeah, because we're freaking done. Although, hey, I don't want to be like that guy. What's his name? The astronaut, Mark, whatever, who started talking shit about, our leader, our really high leadership.
Yeah.
Not at that level, but, prior captains and shit that we dealt with, whatever the case. So
some sergeant majors.
Sergeants major. Fuck you, man. No.
There's a few. There's a few.
Sergeant Major Farr, if you're listening to this, I made it, bitch. No. But he was so busy with his own show and other things. He was like, whatever. So when I went to the Middle East, work on that contract, I just reached out to Brian Colburn, who does his Aaron's podcast. I'm like, dude, I got this idea, blah blah, fellow jarhead. He's like, let's fucking go. And he says, put out 13 shows, put 13 shows together. Here's the blueprint. If you can do that, we can make it happen. Because by the 13th, for those of you who don't know, if you're thinking about podcasting, the 13th show is usually when people kind of like phase out and don't keep
pod fade.
Yep. So here I am 200 shows later.
Yeah, that's that pod fade, and it's just like getting over that hump of those first 13. For me, it helped that I had a secondary host at the time to help me get past that point. But we also had our niche where we were highlighting all these nonprofits, the mom and pop grassroots ones, we had a whole, a whole slew to select from. And we were bringing them on, and we were doing, audio only. And I think audio only too helps at first. And the reason I say that is because when I first started this, I never thought I would be in front of the camera speaking to the masses.
You don't freeze.
Because yeah, it's just like, but doing the audio only and getting it out there and getting more comfortable behind this thing allowed me to transition into doing video. And I want to give a big shout out to Rich LaMonica, because if it wasn't for him, I'd still be doing audio only probably.
No, you wouldn't, because I wouldn't allow it.
But I love it.
I just want to, by the way, after seeing you guys' intro of your show, I have intro envy. Holy shit, man. I was like, man, I got to step up my game. I mean, I think mine was pretty cool. And Brian and I, we put that one together. But when I saw yours, I'm like, you got Marines, fucking helos, and this, and guns, and shit. I'm like, damn, this is some badass shit, dog.
Did you listen to the lyrics of the song?
Yes, yeah, bro. Yeah. Of course, dude.
I mean, that's the lyrics of that song. If you really listen to the lyrics, it has brought a couple of the guests to tears. I know Marie with SliderBabe.com. She was like, dude, that song brought tears to my eyes, and it was just like, it is meant for that, because it's a lot of truth in there. Because on our podcast, we're going to speak the truth, regardless of if you want to hear the truth or not. That's what's coming out of our mouths.
Right.
For one, we're Marines and we don't care. And so the truth is just going to come out of our mouth. And that's what we do. And we love spreading, if there's a nonprofit out there that we think is not doing what they're supposed to be doing, more than likely we're going to call them out, especially if they try to come on the show and say that they're doing something that they're not doing. And that's the whole, digging into their 990s and their Google reviews and everything, making sure they are doing what they say they're doing, and making sure that money is going where the money is supposed to be going. Now, yes. Gunny and I, we got to looking into a nonprofit last night when we got done with the show last night. And it's a big nonprofit. I mean, they brought in, 12 million? Almost over 12 million last year in 2024. So not 25, because we haven't seen the 990s for 25 yet, but in 24, over $12 million. And a quarter of that went to pay the board. And it's like, whoa. Why is this dude making over $250,000 as a CEO president? Come on. That money should be funneled back into helping veterans and not lining your pocket. That's the way Gunny and I look at it. And that's the way it should be for nonprofits.
No, and I think you're 100% correct. I'm very careful when I talk about an organization because of that reason. When I used to write with this, I guess you could say it's not a club. It's not an MC. It's
an association.
Yeah, with Brotherhood of Marine Corps Writers. And yeah. So I used to BMCR. I used to ride with them when I had an American bike. God forbid. I have a Honda right now.
Yeah, no, you can't ride with them.
Yeah, so even though I had a Buell is technically an American bike, but I was, hence my road name was Crotch. I don't know why, Crotch Rocket, whatever. But but we support December 5 Fund, because I know they, 98% of the funds go back, and I've been a recipient when I was when I was still in the service, and even now, I was a recipient of a lot of their assistance and help. Mm-hmm. So that's and then VTS they're more for profit than anything else, because he's got a small footprint, but this dude does a lot of shit for vets. So I when people tell me about some other project related organize, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, actually, and so, but yeah, you gotta be careful who's out there, because a lot of times, it goes to fill their pockets versus
Yes.
putting back and helping the service member. My wife was in that industry for like 15 years, and she says, she goes, you'll be amazed at the amount of money that these organizations can raise and how much it ends up in the other people's pocket.
Oh yeah. So here's the way I look at it. If 10% of whatever money is brought in goes for operational cost, I'm okay with that. So 90% feeds back into the veteran community, 10% for operational costs. You know, whether you're hosting events, whatever you're doing, that 10% goes and pays for all of that. But 90% goes back to the veteran community. Anything over 10% that's staying within the organization, you're doing it wrong, because there's a lot of companies out there that will donate stuff for free for your vets to do. There's a organization, a gun range here in Louisville, Kentucky, that we had our bullets and barbecue, where we would go up there. Range time was free. Renting the guns were free. The only thing that they would charge the veteran is the ammo, because ammo was expensive.
Right.
And then we had so everything else was donated, and they had 3 different ranges set up. So, you know, bunch of bays. And then we would bring in a local barbecue company, which is a national chain. They would donate the food for it, so the veterans, you know, could break a meal there at the event. So everything was donated. So there are organization or groups out there, businesses out there that will donate to your organization, as long as you have that 501c3 status and it's tax deductible for them. They can write that off as a tax deduction, and they're helping veterans and doing things for an organization. So my thing is 90% goes back to the veterans, 10% for operational costs. You got to do your marketing and stuff like that. I understand all of that. But if you're on the board and you're getting a paycheck because you're helping veterans, then you're doing it for the wrong reasons, because you're just doing it to line your pocket. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, you know, say what you mean and mean what you say, or let's just put it, you know, do what you mean, you know, what you're saying, and period. Because, you know, and don't get me wrong, I mean, even there's some of our own out there, so-called, saying that, oh yeah, we're helping veterans, blah blah, but they're really out there to basically take advantage of our own brothers and sisters as well. So, you know, it's messed up. You know, I mean, don't even, you know, even in some of these organizations that do so-called claim, oh yeah, we'll help you with the claim and blah blah blah.
They want a percentage.
Yeah, a percentage. I had this dude on my show, and then he kind of pitched it at me, and I get it. Everybody, you know, we all have to get, you know, make a dollar or whatever. But I'm like, dude, that's a lot of freaking money.
Yeah.
That you're asking me to. I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do it on my own, and that's why I started helping veterans, and that's why when somebody sits with me, we do a Zoom. I'm doing it live. I show them, hey, look, this is how you query ChatGPT. This is how you prompt it, and whatever. You got to learn the 38 CFR, yada yada yada, and then I show. So that way, if something happens to me, hey, you know, at least that person knows what to do, how to do it, and whatever the case. But yeah, there's a lot of organizations out there that, you know,
unfortunately, 10 and 15%, right?
Yeah.
And if you look at somebody that's getting backdated 2 or 3 years, that's a lot of money.
That's a shit ton of money, dog. Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, there's a lot of organizations out there that charge. Now, like a lawyer, they looked at my case and they're like, well, we can't take your case. And I'm like, why can't you take my case? They're like, oh, well, we're not going to get enough money off of you. And I'm like, bro, come on. And then there's other organizations out there that are like, all right, we'll take 10% or 15%. And then we had one, Gunny and I, we interviewed a for-profit organization that helps veterans, and they're like, look, we have one flat rate fee. It's $7,500. We'll help you file your benefits. If you go from 30% to 100%, we're only going to take $7,500 of that back pay. And I'm like, and I asked the question, I said, so what happens if the veteran doesn't get back pay? well, that veteran's liable for that $7,500. And I'm like, because I thought about using them until I asked the question, well, what happens if I don't get $7,500? They're like, well, you're on the hook for it. I'm like, no, it shouldn't be that way, because there's a plethora of veteran service officers out there. I was going to say organizations, but veteran service officers out there that will do it for free. You just got to find a good one that that's going to walk you through, that's been through it, that's done it, and they're going to walk you through getting to 100%. Now, I will say, I think every veteran should be 100%. That's my personal opinion, but there are other people out there that thinks that there are veterans out there that shouldn't be 100%. So, tomato, tomato, right?
Yeah. No, and so if for anybody here on the show as well, and you're watching, I did put out a TikTok not that long ago. I highly recommend one. Subscribe to the DAV magazine, Disabled American Veterans Magazine. You get that quarterly, and they do a lot of lobbying, a lot of good stuff. But and I put out a lot of TikToks out of that too. They're getting ready, so they're lobbying right now. They being people in the claim shark industry, and I'm not lumping everybody because I'm sure there's some good ones out there. However, they're lobbying right now that basically they can charge up to, I think it's $12,500, regardless of the size of the claim, if it's small or whatever. So they're lobbying. So if this goes through, I mean, you're screwed. So if you get their assistance, oh shit, I'm just trying to get my tinnitus up, whatever. Oh yeah, 12 grand, pay me. So you got to contact your and the information is on there on that article. You contact your congressman, let them know what's going on, but tell them, hey, say no to this, because at the end of the day, it's our veteran community is the one that's going to heed the call. And unfortunately, we still got a lot of Vietnam era and Desert Shield, Desert Storm, the first part, who are aging now. They're in their 60s, early 70s, and unfortunately, those guys and gals, not saying all of them, but technology is not the best, so they're going to get scammed and they're going to get hemmed up, and we can't let that shit happen.
Yeah.
So, that's just kind of like the more you know type of shit.
Here, so this is Frank DeMyth, author of Vital Interest. We've had him on the show a couple of times. Super cool cat. He said, every veteran should get the same support I got before I retired. Someone from the VA came over and went through my medical records page by page and told me what to put on my disability claim.
I mean, that's fine and dandy, but at the end of the day, it's up to the doctor, right? At the end of the day, it's up to that rater. Yeah. So you can have a VSO come over and tell you what to put and what to claim. But if you, Pacho and I talked about it. We talk about it all the time on this show. If you're not using specific verbiage with that doctor, the claim's not going to be where you think it should be, right? Because that then goes to the rater, and you've got somebody sitting there reading what the doctor's writing. And if they don't see specific verbiage from the doctor, they're going to put you at a 0. They're going to put you at a 10. You might not get that 30. You might not get that 50. Yeah. So you just gotta. It's rough, man. It's gotten hard because there are people that have learned how to work the system. Yeah. And, that are at 100%. It took me from 2011 being medically retired after 30 something surgeries to go from 70% to 100%. It took me from 2011 until 2024, December.
That's insane, dog.
And I've had 15 surgeries since that date.
And the crazy shit is that your medical record book speaks for itself.
It's 1,000 pages.
And it's like, and the rater's like, it's not service connected. Like,
my neck and my back didn't hurt me before I got blown up either time.
Yeah.
Let alone the second time, but it's not service connected. Are you friggin' kidding me? I flew 25 feet in the friggin' air and was knocked out. Not service connected though.
Yeah.
Just putting it out there.
Yeah.
And a thing for like me, I'm prime example of this. So I started my journey in 20 at the what 20 at the end of
Like
23
2 years
20
ago.
yeah, and I didn't understand the verbiage, so I started the process, went and talked to a therapist, did my first CMP exam for my PTSD and my moral injury, and they rated me at 30%. And I'm like, all right, that if that's what I'm supposed to get, that's what I'm supposed to get. And I talked to a few other people, and they're like, oh no, bro, you didn't use the right verbiage. You need to do another CMP exam. So we did another CMP exam, and I still don't think I used the verbiage that they were looking for. I even
Well,
had my wife.
it's the verb. So when you're looking at the post traumatic stress and the traumatic brain injury, right? So they had me at 10%, at post traumatic stress, 0 with traumatic brain injury. I got blown up twice within a month.
Yeah,
Knocked out both times. Post concussive syndrome, right, is what it used to be called, and now it's
Yeah.
called traumatic brain injury. Then they raised me to 30% post traumatic stress after going and seeing the shrink at the VA forever, and her putting down, this dude's messed up. Then they take my TBI and group it in with the post traumatic stress.
yeah.
So now it's post traumatic stress with TBI, or TBI with post traumatic stress. I can't remember
It's
how to say
all
it.
lumped in.
It's all lumped in. Yes, some of the symptoms for post traumatic stress and traumatic brain injury are the same. They're two different things, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it blows my mind that they try to lump things together, like sleep apnea and sinusitis, rhinitis. They try to lump that together, or you can do sleep apnea, piggyback off of your PTSD. It's just like holy cow, man! And it's just
Or you get by law, this is as high as this can be rated.
right.
Yeah.
Well, by medical, this is what's going to freaking kill me.
Yeah.
But it can only be 30% by VA law. That at the end of the day is what's going to be the death of me.
I mean, the system is, it was it's still antiquated the way they rate it. I mean, this is based on like 1940s,
Yeah.
Post World War II type era where they didn't have anything. They just kind of put this together, but it's still, it has, now that with medical advances, the system has not caught up with where we at now and all the medical discoveries. I have a guy, his name is Larry. He wrote in the club. The dude is 84 years old. Check this shit out. His road name is DNR. It's
Jeez.
yeah. It's like, hey, don't let him ride alone, because if they see his vest, they're not going to resuscitate his ass. But this dude, so check, this guy he didn't go to World War II, but he was Korea. He was at Camp Lejeune, drank the water, was in the Marine Corps for 6 years. Years later, has had 3 types of cancer. Colon, colon, bladder, and I forgot the other one. So, colon. Anyways, and all this stuff, and they denied everything. And the only reason why he was 40% was because of his tinnitus. So I shit you not. So when I went in, I'm like, Larry, let me take a look. And I was like, holy cow. So he needed at least 70%. So that way he could get the assistance for the medical care from his daughter.
Yeah.
So when I went in there, we started working together. I mean, this took we started out in April, and in October, after doing all that and me going back and going in the system and me telling, hey, this is what you got to say when you go in there. Don't go in there, be, happy-go-lucky Larry, and dude, when I got there in October, they gave him 70%, give him back, months back pay. I was trying to get him to see if they would go back to way back when, but that wasn't the case. But nonetheless, he got
like
the 70%.
24 or 36 months. There's a cap on how far back they can go, no matter how long you've been working your case.
But he was able to get not only, now care, the home caretaker program. He was able to get a bunch of other stuff, and obviously he went from 1,000 to 1,700. I'm still working with him to try to get him to 100%. But you know, that right there made a huge difference, man. So
yeah. So Frank says this right here. The system stinks. It really sucks that I'm rated higher than a person that lost a limb. And that does happen. I mean, I've seen a lot of admin personnel and people that, you know, did that kind of work be rated at 100%. And you have a combat veteran that, you know, got blown up twice and is fighting to get to 100%, but yet you got these admin guys that know how to word the system and how to work the system.
Never left fire.
Yeah, never, and they're already at 100%. It's just like, bro, it just blows my mind.
Well, and it's also, you know, nothing against the Raiders. It's also that this is because I just went through this with, I call him my brother. I mean, we went in the buddy program at the Marine Corps together. So my buddy Ken, and after 20 plus years, he applied for it, and I know I helped him. But was it VES or VSA, that contract that that the VA uses. So they're all civilians, and as he's going through, and he's had some serious medical issues, among other things. But the person's like telling him, like, well, I don't think that you know, that you look like, and he's like, what? And I was like, dude, you should have gotten me that person's name. Like this person is being the filter for the VA. It's like, shut the fuck up, lady. It's like, you know, just write my shit down and then let the Raider do their part. But, you know, you're not the fucking filter for the VA. You're just
So if you look at me fully clothed, you can't tell.
Yeah.
But you take my shirt off, you took my clothes off, I look like friggin' Cadaver Sam, you know, the operation game.
Though.
You know what I mean? That's it. You know, and it's like, are you freaking kidding me, dude? It's ridiculous. You look good. Really? Really?
Yeah.
I look like I was halfway down the damn shark and it bit me.
It's like, lady, have you know, you're not me getting out of bed in the morning, you know, nice and slow, because, you know, you sound like a bowl of snack cracker pops. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or soaking in the friggin' tub for 40 minutes upstairs just to loosen everything up.
Yeah, I was 46. I had my first total knee replacement.
Nice.
I'm 47 and I have to have my other knee done. We're waiting on this one to completely heal and be back to somewhat normal. And you know, it's just like, and they're like, oh, it's not service connected. I'm like, bro, here I am fast roping out of helicopters. And if you ever seen Marines fast rope out of a helicopter, it's not a pretty sight when you hit the deck at 20 mile an hour, just bam.
Well, you're supposed to hang on tighter, but you know.
Well, yeah. Supposed to.
What happens is Willis gets stuck in the hellhole of the 46, and somebody has to stomp on his pack to get him through, and he wasn't ready for it. And down he goes.
That might have happened once or twice.
Cut the rope, Sarge.
or you know, here you are, you know, with 100-pound pack on your back, your weapon, your Kevlar, your flak jacket, and you're humping
your skis and your snowshoes and everything else going up friggin' elevation in Bridgeport.
Yeah. So and it's like, it's not service connected. Yeah, you know, your ankles, your knees, your back, everything's all connected. Your neck, you know, and it's just like, look, if you're infantry and you say, hey, I got neck problems, back problems, ankles, knees, all of that good jazz, they should say, all right, you're infantry. Yep, it should be automatic. And I hate to say it, depending on your job when you're in the military is how you should be rated.
You're saying it right. You know, Pacho and I talked about it the other night on his show. You know, we as infantry guys don't get exposed as much to the fuels as the aviation guys or as motor T. They don't get exposed to the greases and the other solvents, you know, and the same thing with NBC. You know, you're not getting exposed all the time. You know, we're not anyway. Infantry guys getting exposed all the time to the chemicals, but the guys running the gas chamber are.
Yeah.
Right. So I think, you know, every job should have a minimum and then it goes from there.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. You know, and that's what, you know, if you're going to get out of the service, for anybody that's still on active duty on here or knows somebody, your medical record book should not look this thin. That bitch should be like this. try to get it. And that's what I tell, because when I do a lot of talks through VTS, and they've asked me to go to camp house and stuff, and I tell, document everything. It's not being a sick bay commando. It's
a year, right? Is it still a year before getting out that you can start your VA stuff and your retirement and all that? So that 365 days from the time for a fact that you're getting out, start getting your stuff documented.
Yeah, document everything. And even before, I mean, not that I was a sick bay commando, but I was really accident prone among other things. But I was lucky on that, and get a diagnosis too. Everybody, try to get a diagnosis on whatever, because even if some minute like hemorrhoids, which a lot of us suffer from that. I mean,
athlete's feet. Ingrown toenails,
pedis tinnitus. That's what athlete's feet, ingrown toenails. All kinds of stuff. Even because of doxycycline, all that stuff. If you've had some type of erectile oopsie, when you're being intimate, think about it for a second. That's some of the shit that you were injected, you took in, you inhaled. Again, this is a safety guy in me coming out. Injection, absorption, friggin' whatever, all that stuff. That's going to impact things. And then later on in life, we're the ones who, after you start developing certain things like, oh, shit, that doesn't run in my family. Well, guess what? You were exposed to it during the service.
So you were talking about medical records. Does this look familiar to you?
Yet.
It should not be that thin.
There you go.
Just for reference, it should not be that thin. And I even have my other one as well.
It should be like this, or you should have like two binders.
I can't. I don't have enough arms to bring mine out. Mine are
in totes. Crates.
My stuff's in totes.
Somebody said that's worse than hemorrhoids.
Jeez, Frank.
Oh, Frank, we love you, brother. We love you. Man, this has been so fun. We are at 1 hour, or almost an hour. Holy
nice.
Yeah.
Pacho, where can people find you, find the podcast to listen? I know you've mentioned TikTok a number of times during the show here, but if somebody wanted to listen to your show, when does it air? When can somebody listen to you? And who do you want on your show for guests? What's the niche that you're looking for, or is it just fly by the seat of your pants? And
it's a little bit of everything. So where can you find me? You can find me under Pacho Correa _3. That's at Instagram. You can find the Field Op at the Field Op on TikTok. You just type the Field Op on Facebook or YouTube. You'll find my podcast there. And I'm on LinkedIn under my long ass name, Francisco Correa Hernandez. You can find me there. Send me an invite. I'll accept it. On the podcast, if you're a veteran, you want a story, you got a story to tell, I'm your platform. It's all completely free. If you have a business that supports veterans, or or whatever the case, I love having people over, because most of a lot of times I'm doing talking heads on my own. Thank God for ChatGPT, because that motherfucker helps me put the show together. Nah, it's not like me on Thursday, and it's on Thursdays, 6 p.m. Eastern time, but I'm here at like 5 o'clock. Oh my God, what am I gonna freaking talk about today? I know, so that used to be back in the day, but now with ChatGPT, I think that thing's smoking a Marlboro Red. It's like, I think let's just give him this for today.
Standing by at 5 o'clock. Pacho's gonna ask me a question.
I waited to the last minute again. But that's where you can find me. Hit me up. Love to have you on the show, and just come and support another fellow podcaster as well. And by the way, aren't you in the shoot this week, Willis?
I am. Thursday night, I will be there. 6
I was about to pull a Gary Coleman on you.
With bells on. I've never heard that before.
What you talking about, Willis?
Oh, okay. Damn.
I've never heard that before.
Gunny. See, the Gunny comes clutch, baby. That's what Gunny does.
Gunny, how many times did we hear that in boot camp?
Oh my! Every day, multiple times.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So anytime I got in trouble, guess who was coming up with me? That guy.
Deeds.
If he got in trouble, guess who was getting hollered at? What you talking about, Willis? Get your ass up. So yeah, it was like, But
and Deeds, did they ever mess up with you about, like the movie Deeds? Remember?
Yeah, I came in before that. So Willis and I both came in. We came in 97, but I was on recruiting duty when that movie came out, and I cannot tell you how many kids asked me to change my socks. I'm like, come up with a new line. Get your ass out of here.
Oh man.
Nice.
But
hey,
yeah, so Thursday nights.
Yeah.
Thursday nights, 6 p.m. You can find him on Facebook Live, YouTube Live. Find him on all of his social medias. Give him a follow at the Field Op, or search up his name, or go to Google, type it in, say, hey, I want to follow this guy, and follow all of his. Make sure you like, subscribe, and all of that good stuff.
Thank you.
One, he's a Marine, so I don't care that he's a CWO. He's still cool in my book. So yeah.
Fucking sellout. No.
You join the dark side.
Yeah. Thanks so much, you guys. This has been amazing. I really appreciate it. Keep doing what you're doing. I love platforms like this, and we're forming this network of just helping each other out. Don't be a money fucker.
So Wednesday night we have our tip of the spear. I think I sent you an invite to that already, I believe. If I didn't, I will send you an invite. Now, that is multiple veteran podcasters. We get together and we have a great show. We talk about anything that's going on globally, locally, whatever. Everything. It's a no holds bar kind of show. Sometimes it gets heated, sometimes it don't. So if I didn't send you an invite to that, I will send you an invite, because that way you get to tie in with our group of veteran podcasters, and you can get some more people that will come on as a guest on your show, and vice versa. So it'll be
it's usually the last Wednesday of every month.
Yeah.
The exception is Thanksgiving. So November, we try to push it to the Wednesday before, and then depending on where Christmas falls, we may do it the Wednesday before as well. But yeah, November, December, usually the exceptions. Every other month, it's the last Wednesday of the month.
Okay. Yeah. If I can plug in, I'm in there like a thong in a fat chick.
Absolutely.
In there.
in there like dental floss.
Like at Toby's.
And with that, I will leave you, gents. Yeah. Oh, Toby's, baby.
Oh,
nice.
So, Gunny, my wife is on TikTok watching right now.
The Purple Church in Oceanside.
I was thinking driftwood, but hey.
Oh, the Dirtwood.
The Dirtwood.
Yeah, baby. Or the Lucky Lady. Remember that one? Damn.
Hey. My wife is gonna,
Mine doesn't watch, so I'm good.
We know where Willis is sleeping today.
Yeah, right there in the dungeon.
Right here in the dungeon, on the couch over there. Well,
nice.
Pacho, thank you for coming on, hanging out with us. If you want to wait around in the green room while Gunny and I wrap up the show, that would be awesome. But thank you again for taking time out of your day and come hanging out with Gunny and I.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, brother. How cool was that?
Yeah, man, I knew it was going to be a good show. I fortunately was able to step up last Thursday when you couldn't make it. Pacho and I had great discussion, great conversation, and just had a really good time. And I knew coming in today that it was going to be good.
So Julie, she said that this is why I don't watch Laugh Out Loud. Oh,
we all had lives before our wives. That's all I'm saying.
And we say BJ before Julie.
I've always said BA, and we don't usually discuss things BA, but
definitely. You know what? I don't even. You know what time it is, though. I need to do this though, because I'm slacking today, Gunny.
You are.
I am slacking. I thought I was ready, but I didn't. Are we on? Who we on today? Marines or Navy?
Marines.
Ooh, we're on a Marine joke. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll have to scroll down while you know what time it is, though.
Gunny's Words of Wisdom.
Reputation is what people think of you. Character is what you are. Boom.
I like it. I like it. I like it. Clip that. All right. Yeah, say it again one more time.
Reputation is what people think of you. Character is what you are.
That's so powerful. It really is. That is really, really, really powerful. I like it. I like it. All right. You know what time it is?
It's time for the joke of the day.
What you got?
Time for the joke of the day. All right. Where'd it go? What's the most dangerous part of being a marine biologist? Checking a marine's blowhole.
That's like that doctor at MEPS.
Oh,
that dude's got 50,000 pictures of buttholes because no one can explain why we have to friggin' bend over and spread our cheeks.
Julie just said, "Good God, wisdom words, sir." What? That don't make no sense. Wisdom words, sir. And then after the joke, she did a facepalm emoji.
Frank says that's a 4-crayon joke.
A 4-crayon joke. I love it. I love it.
Oh man.
You know, the more you stroke that beard, the whiter it's going to get. I'm hoping to be like Santa Claus for Christmas. All right, here we go, Gunny.
Yeah, you're not alone. You still have worth. You still have value. Surround yourself with people that are going to build you up and not tear you down. Don't let the dark days win. It's okay to not be okay, but it's not okay to stay in that place.
In the silence of your struggles, remember, though unseen, you are deeply held in the hearts of others. You are not alone. The uniform may come off, but the bond remains. And together we heal, we rise, and we carry each other forward. And the key word is together. Together we heal, together we rise, together we carry each other forward. If you're out there and you're saying, "Oh, you're not a combat veteran, your service didn't matter," and you're putting down, a motor T guy or a comm guy or an admin guy, guess what? You couldn't do your job if you didn't have those people.
It's okay to be the jockstrap. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Everybody needs a little support every now and then.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Hashtag be someone stranger, guys. We talk about this on every episode of Homefront Sit Rep, right? We as humans, we're more apt to talk to a complete stranger than the ones we love the most. So when you're out and about and you see somebody and it looks like they're having a bad day, go up to them, say, "Hey, how you doing?" And if they give you the red flags, "I'm okay, I'm hanging in there, I'm living a dream," ask the next hard question. How are you really doing? But be ready for that conversation, because it could be a 5-minute conversation. It could be an 8-hour conversation. You just have to be ready for it. And don't try to fix the person that you're talking to. Let them talk. Sometimes they just need to get it out. You never know. You might save their life. Just let them talk.
Yeah, and it takes a village. You can't do this alone. You can't go out about it alone. Pick up your cell phone, open your contacts, scroll through, and do that cell phone roulette. Just land on a name, dial it up, give them a call. Your voice might be what they needed to hear that day.
Amen. Yeah. Pick up that cell phone, go through your contacts, and just land on whoever randomly. Give them a call, man. All right, big shout out to our partners, Heroes Media Group. Adam Bird is phenomenal. I love the guy to death. Even though he is an Army guy, he's friggin' phenomenal. So check out heroesmediagroup.com and look at everything that's going on within the HMG family. We've been part of HMG for about 2 years now, and I can't thank Adam enough for his support and helping Homefront with everything that we got going on. Anytime he calls me before he hangs up, he goes, "Hey, do you need anything from me?" And I always tell him no. He goes, "Well, my phone's always open. If you need anything, just give me a call." So big shout out to Adam Bird with Heroes Media Group. Next, I want to give a big shout out to reachacrossamerica.org/radio. Homefront Sit Rep is on Reach Across America Radio on Thursday nights, 11 p.m. Eastern. That's Thursday nights, 11 p.m. Eastern on www.reachacrossamerica.org/radio. Or you can download the iHeartRadio app, TuneIn app, or the Audacity app and search the word wreath, and you can find it there as well. Next, want to give a big shout out to sameflagsameoath.com. Matt and Becky Johnson outside of Katy, Texas, a small veteran-owned t-shirt company. They make hats, they make shirts. They do a lot of co-branding with organizations, 501c3s, and other veteran-owned businesses as well. So check out sameflagsameoath.com. Next is Darren Davis with RDC Shoe Company. They have two shoes. They got the Patriot, which Gunny's going to show you what it looks like. That's the Patriot right there. That's the shoe that I have, and that thing is comfortable. And then Gunny has the Glory, but he also has the Patriot, and this is the Glory here. That's the first edition. And then Darren Davis is a Marine Corps veteran, and his shoe just got nominated for the America 250 shoe.
The official shoe of America 250, yeah.
So check out rdcshoes.com and go order you a shoe. And the cool thing about the Patriot shoe is each one comes with a placard.
All of them.
Every one of them? Okay, yeah. So every one of them. So just go. It comes with a Medal of Honor recipient
like
inside
a hero card.
A hero card. So,
yeah.
So go check out that. And then Elite Engraving. I cannot forget about Elite Engraving, which is a small veteran-owned hat company. They do a little bit of everything, but they created our hat and our logo for us there, which Gunny has shown here on the screen. They are Richardson 112s. So they're awesome ball caps. So go check out Elite Engraving. They're in Campbellsburg.
You can pick your color combination. It doesn't have to be the tan and black or the gray and black. You can pick your color combination of what you want for your hat.
Yeah, if Richardson makes that hat, you can get it. They have all kinds of. They got hats like what Gunny's wearing right there. They got the hat that I'm wearing, kind of, sorta. So a little bit of everything. Any other partner I'm missing, Gunny? I think I got them all.
Valor Coins and Pins.
Valor Coins and Pins. Who made those? They made those shoes, right?
One. They made one of them. The other one was made by Hero Coins.
Oh, nice. They made our Homefront Sit Rep coin, which I think I still got the autofocus off, but our Homefront Sit Rep coin, it's got hashtag Be Someone Stranger. And then on the back, it's got all the branches, and then it's got hashtag We Got Your Six on there as well.
Secret surprise on the back too.
And a secret surprise, which you'd have to get one of the coins to see the secret surprise. So go check out our website at homefrontsitrep.com, which is scrolling across the bottom of the screen, and you will see all of these great nonprofits, all these veteran business owners that we've interviewed on the show will be on there as well. We also has a link on there for our merch that'll take you to sameflagsameoath.com and also Elite Engraving, so you can check it out there. And then I want to give a big shout out to challengeamerica.com. They partnered with Homefront Sit Rep within their cavarts.org community, which is Challenge America Veterans in the Arts, which is art healing, art therapy, whether it's guitar, whether it's learning how to leatherwork, metalwork, learning how to podcast. We have it on there as well. So go check out cavarts.org. And for some reason, I'm getting tongue-tied, and I don't know why.
Well, that means it's time to wrap it up.
It is. Like we always say on Homefront Sit Rep.
Wednesday night, 7 p.m., tip of the spear. We'll see you there.
Yep. Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. You can find us on any of the platforms of all the podcasters that's on there. So we're all over the place. But like we always say on Homefront Sit Rep, stay safe out there. We got your
got your six.
Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this show.
Suggestions and comments are always welcome.
Cannot wait to have another great show with y'all.
Don't forget you can find Homefront Sit Rep on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
Stay safe out there. I got your six.